Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel with some breaking news coming to you guys from Paris, the capital of France. As we speak, the parliamentarians and the National Assembly are voting against Michel Barnier's government. The French government is collapsing tonight. The vote of no confidence should be going through because the government doesn't have enough support in the chamber, in the National Assembly to win this. And we're going to talk about all the information that we have and of course get your reaction live because this is your news channel as well. First things first, let's talk about what's been going on over the last few months. We've had mayhem after mayhem in Paris as the economy is in chaos, the budget of the government, the national debt is increasing, the deficit is in turmoil, and the political side of it, they've been trying to contain the situation, they fail. They had the parliamentary election. Marine Le Pen and her party, the National Rally, were doing really well. They still tried their best by rigging it, by getting the coalition of the different parties to make sure Le Pen doesn't win, make sure Le Pen doesn't, her party doesn't become the government and obviously get the prime minister. Then obviously they installed Michel Barnier, the former Brexit negotiator for the European Union, to become the prime minister of France. Emmanuel Macron seems to be all over the place as a president, and now he's going to have to find a new prime minister for his National Assembly. Let's talk about everything that we know so far. Obviously, the last few months, we had Barnier trying to control this mess, and he has been failing because his budget to control the situation when it comes to obviously the deficit, the national debt, a lot of extreme measures, they didn't have enough support, and now you have a coalition of right-wing parties and left-wing parties all getting together to vote against this government, which would be absolutely historic. Let's not forget, if this motion passes, this will be the first time a French government has been ousted by a vote of no confidence in over 60 years. So this will be absolutely historic anyway. Now, trying to reduce the budget deficit and everything else is just one excuse because there is the political atmosphere is not too healthy right now in France, as some of you might already be familiar with. Now, the National Assembly are getting together to do this. France is obviously grappling with a budget deficit that is going to exceed 6% of the GDP this year, which is absolutely huge. Now, this is about, they're going to have 60 billion euros in tax rises, and spending cuts also aim to reduce the deficit by only to 5% actually by next year, 2025. It doesn't look too good. Now, as we said, if this passes, which it should at this point, if the government falls, Macron as president has to appoint a new prime minister, but he apparently is going to be keeping Barnier as prime minister, as caretaker prime minister, until they find a new leader. Again, some people in the National Assembly are not going to be too happy about the timeline of this, but as we speak, they are voting, they're debating, they're doing all this, and we're going to keep you guys posted. Marine Le Pen is leading this fight in the Assembly. She said France has lost control of its public finances. Barnier's budget made hostages of the most vulnerable French people, those people who are now asking, where is our money going? Now, that is a very fair question. What happened to all the money? There is no money left. And we had the same situation in the United Kingdom under the previous Labour government. When they left office in 2010, there was no money left and it was completely chaotic. Of course, the Conservatives, the coalition had to come in and sort it out, and they did sort it out, at least in terms of the spending, the budget and everything else, the deficit that got fixed, but now we have different problems. Now, for those who are not familiar with the makeup of the National Assembly, the breakdown, you have the new Popular Front. So these are the coalition of the centre-left and left-wing parties. That includes socialists, Greens, communists, radical left-wingers, everybody, right? They have 193 seats. Then you have the National Rally, that's Marine Le Pen's party, and the Allies, which came third, 142 seats. By the way, when we say third, we're talking about the actual number of seats, not the number of popular votes. That's very important. At the same time, you also have the Ensemble Alliance. This is basically Emmanuel Macron and bringing together the MPs from several parties. They have 166 seats. And then you have the Republicans. The Republicans, the mainstream Conservative Party, which is not really that conservative anymore, only have 47 MPs. So all this is going to be causing trouble. And then you've got obviously some independents as well who have taken their seats in the National Assembly. And we will be checking to see how things are going. We now have an update because obviously this is all breaking news, all coming in live. One of the allies of Emmanuel Macron is now saying that it's not looking too good, the vote. So saying we need to think of what went wrong and how incapable we were of building this coalition, which is absolutely needed. We are not in a binary world anymore. Well, France hasn't really been in a binary political world for a very, very long time. And obviously, you have a reaction from the different sectors in France. The banking sector are slightly concerned. The financial services are concerned because they don't really see any solution. Because even if you bring down this government, in terms of the alternative prime minister or cabinet, they are not confident that they can actually, one, come up with the right solution for the economy, two, the political stability, three, actually being able to pass bills and new laws. So it's a lose-lose for the actual political establishment, which means if this continues, over the last few years, over the last almost 10 years now, since the first presidential election we had with Macron and Le Pen, and Macron won, was it 2017, I believe? All that was just the beginning of the rise of National Rally, and people were not comfortable at first. They started getting more comfortable, and National Rally became more mainstream, and to a point where Marine Le Pen actually disassociated herself with some of the politicians inside the AfD in Germany, saying, they're a little bit too right-wing. And so National Rally is actually much more mainstream now than before. Every election since 2016-17, they're getting more and more. If this political instability continues, all it means is that it's just making it easier for Marine Le Pen to potentially win the next election. Now, obviously, the deep state in France are trying their best to block Le Pen. So there are all these investigations about Le Pen and her party in the European Parliament all these years, saying that, there's been some corruption. Let's find out some dodgy money. They want to ban her from running public office. But it doesn't matter because it's about the movement right now. And if they could find someone else to do the same job, it's the same thing anyway. So France is going through turmoil now. But as an outsider, what I see is that there is hope. It's going to take a while, but the political bubble needs to break up. And they are doing the job themselves. You don't have to. If you're French watching this, and I know a lot of French viewers watch this, the good French, obviously, not the Parisians. Actually, there are some good people in Paris too. But there's a difference between Parisians and French. You guys know that the only way you can actually do this, you have to allow the political bubble to implode. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create any revolution. Firstly, you guys need to stop doing revolutions, because you've had a few. Stop having revolutions. It's already happening. So it's just about being patient, making sure you actually have the coalition from the center right, the conservative side, the patriots to get together and take advantage of this. Because otherwise, they're just going to find a way to rig it again. The globalist mainstream liberal establishment, they are all falling apart in every single country. First, you had Argentina. You had El Salvador. You have all the situations in the Netherlands, for example. Canada is falling apart in a good way, as in the conservative, Canadian conservatives, the Canadian Tories are coming up with Polyev. And every country is rising, apart from the United Kingdom, although the supporters of Reform UK say, we have a movement, we have Reform UK, but Reform UK is simply, the aim is to replace the Tory party, which is fair enough. That's the aim they have. It's slightly different to what Le Pen is doing, what Wilders is doing in the Netherlands and other countries. Then you have a different approach in the United States, which was Trump and the Trumpian movement infiltrating and taking over an existing party, which was the Republican Party, and they turned the Republican Party in a better party. So that's another option. You could either do that, like Trump, take over one party. You could do Reform UK, which is to just simply replace the existing Conservative Party You'll be the new Conservative Party, or you could just completely create a new movement, which is what's happening in the Netherlands, in France, and in Germany. Regardless of this, the common thing that we are seeing is that the establishment side, which is the global consensus, has been for the past almost, well, how long has it been now? 80 years since the Second World War, is to go with the political consensus, right? Politics of consensus, which Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan broke it up. They were the first people, the pioneers, to break it up. Reagan, Thatcher destroyed it. They're like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. That was the early days of the globalism, modern globalism. It's back. The Tories ousted Margaret Thatcher. They took control of the party. They took the party back. Ronald Reagan left, and then the terrible Republicans slowly took control of it. Then the Bush dynasty came, but now it's happening again. The global consensus, which is what I call liberal globalist type of politics, is falling apart. Even though they had a plan by 2030 to make sure it becomes the norm, it doesn't go anywhere. The Blair type politics, the Obama type politics, to stay here, it's not going to stay. There is a backlash that's happening now, and it's going to continue until they find a new way to fight back. Now, let's get some reaction from the live chat as we wait for the vote. Ivan says they get paid enough by us to keep the illegals out, so why a deficit? That's a good point, actually. The problem with this is that the French government, mostly ordered by President Macron, have been trying their best to push out the migrants, send them to England. Fair enough. From their perspective, fair enough. Kicking them out, basically making it uncomfortable for them. They don't want to stay in France. They want to come here. It's much easier here. But it's our job in England to say, no, the door is closed. But we have weak politicians who continue to do this. So voting will now start in about 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 3 minutes. The voting will start just shortly after. And then they're going to have 45 minutes to cast their vote. So in about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, we're going to find out what's going on. And they're either going to obviously vote in favor or against it. They can abstain as well. 288 votes are needed, by the way, in case you don't know about the National Assembly. 288 votes are needed for the motion to pass. We will obviously keep you guys posted. Now, for the record, 320 MPs have already publicly said they're going to vote for the motion. So unless about, 40 MPs suddenly have a heart attack right now and die, the French government will collapse within the next hour. So we'll keep you guys posted. Tony says, Maya, I know you are reporting on France, but we need to get you and your family somewhere safe fast, which is very important, buddy. Thank you so much, Tony Maloney. Yes, I did post on X. If you haven't seen our first live update, which was about an hour ago, this was about the police leaking private information about myself and a couple of others online. We are taking legal actions. Obviously, my family don't feel safe right now in the UK anymore. I will have to continue to fight for their safety. We'll keep you guys posted. Make sure to watch that if you haven't. We need that to be shared widely for the record, if you could do me a favor. Adam says, be careful, Macron will be sending a French police for you. to be fair, if you didn't see 2CTV's live stream from Paris a couple of weeks ago, when I had to go to Paris to report from what was happening outside the stadium with the Israeli football fans and the French, there was a moment where the police were so aggressive. And I was simply showing that one Israeli was being essentially chased by the Islamists on the far left. The police acted very quickly. They came to form the line to protect the Jewish guy. And then me and a couple of other independent reporters were simply filming. They almost beat us up. They are very, very robust. Even though it seemed like they're going to unintentionally, accidentally target me, I didn't mind, because that means they're doing good security. Well done, French police. We now have a confirmation that Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party, is now flying to Washington, D.C. tonight to meet Donald J. Trump. That's also another breaking news brought to you guys. Bum Bum for Dictator says, Maya, can you turn off the ads? It gets in the way of news. No, you can always rewind it back. Don't worry, guys. It's not the BBC. Only the BBC doesn't have ads. Otherwise, we go bankrupt. We have a team to support. Unless you want me to start doing shout-outs and product placements about energy drinks. I'm not doing that. Anyway, my brain hurts. That's not me, that's Ivan. Thank you very much. So yes, the voting should now be starting in the National Assembly in Paris. There's someone at the door. Give me 1 second, guys. With all the stuff that I'm dealing with the police, it's important to check. It might be the police again. Right, ladies and gentlemen, TCTV, I'm being arrested and I'm being taken away by the Metropolitan Police. I'm kidding. I've dealt with it. Everything's fine. I'm officially, I can't breathe now. Going up and down. It's not easy, right? Right, anyway. We got already comments saying free 2CTV. Free from the river to the sea, 2CTV will be free. With ads, obviously. I got a bad feeling about this. It's fine. I kicked them out. They were just trying to find the library, as usual. It's okay. He's alive. I know that anytime something happens now, for the next few days and weeks, everyone's going to panic if someone's at the door. Drew says it was Amazon. Probably eBay, actually. Oh, remember eBay? I haven't used the eBay in ages. I was like, man, you got me there. I'm very good, right? Why haven't you got a camera? Yeah, because this is AI, right? This is not really a camera. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to do now is wait for the next few minutes to find out the vote, the result of the vote of no confidence in the National Assembly in Paris. We are going to be coming back around probably 7 p.m. when we have the result of the motion. 99.9% Michel Barnier is gone and the French government is collapsing in about an hour time. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. I'm Maya Tusi and we are the media.